Welcome to an episode of Inner Work Guides, Alchemical Gnosis, Yoga of the West. I'm your host, John H. Reed III. Let's get to it. Sustainable Transmutations, The Traveler, Part 9. The traveler released his hold on time, and the sun fell quickly into its slumber. In the quiet of the night, the traveler still felt uneasy. His mind bounced back and forth between those words whispered by the Centaur and those of the feminine voice. The latter had intimated that there was yet more to do, and the former had hinted at some cryptic statement about freedom. The traveler went to a well at the edge of the town. He drew some water and drank thirstily, the cool liquid cascading down his insides, rejuvenating him, preparing him. The traveler sat at the edge of the well and breathed deeply, closing his eyes and allowing the gentle sounds of the night to fill his ears. Under the sounds of the crickets and other night insects, the traveler could hear footsteps moving towards him slowly but with purpose. He opened his eyes to see a frail figure with a dark hooded cloak approaching him. The figure stopped a few feet away from him, presenting only the profile of his left side. "Beast slayer, you are," said the figure in a raspy, shrill voice. "Help these people you think you have. Trapped in their own fears are they. Puppets of mine they are." As the figure spoke, the traveler's vision took on an eerie alteration. He could see things and through them at the same time. Extending from the dark hooded figure were innumerable chains, each stretching out to the inhabitants of the town and beyond the town to other locales. Perhaps most terrifying was the chain which was tethered around his own neck. It was heavy, very heavy, and the more aware he became of it, the heavier it seemed. As the figure continued to speak, a spectral duplicate of itself began to transfigure, first a harpy, then a rock-like creature, now a dragon, and finally fixing itself into a form of a monstrous demon, composed of a goat's head, female chest, eagle's claws, and cloven hoofs. Comfortable they are in their existence of shadow and light. Why do you seek to change this? Prevent this I shall, even if I have to kill them all. With those words, a reddish light traveled out along some of the chains into the homes of the townspeople and out to the other towns. In a few moments, wails of torment could be heard coming from the homes and being carried softly over distant hills like some hellish lullaby as family members saw loved ones expire right before their eyes. The traveler jumped to his feet. "I will not allow you to harm these people." The traveler raised both of his arms and concentrated on seeing a radiant ball of brilliant white light. "Fiat lux," he roared. In an instant, the dark square became lighted, as if by 1,000 noonday suns, blinding even the traveler for a moment. It took a few seconds for the traveler's sight to recompose itself. But when he could see, to his dismay, it was still night, and the dark figure was still present. The figure now turned to fully face the traveler. It began to stride towards him, boldly, with malicious purpose. The dark cavern within its cowl seemed to loom larger and darker with each step that brought it closer to the traveler. Its void was all-encompassing. With an unnatural transformational drop in the tenor of its voice, the figure continued, "Your nascent powers will not affect me, boy. They were born of the dark, and I am the dark's father." To be continued. Thank you for listening to this episode of Inner Work Guide's Alchemical Gnosis, Yoga of the West. Don't forget to follow or subscribe. Contact me by writing to guide@innerwork.guide. Go to my website, innerwork.guide. Create an account to get on the mailing list. Read the blog and listen to the podcast. Click on the donate button to support my work.